Making my way through the darkness, a million eyes on me. I don't care, I don't care. Making my way through the spirit, sticking it out just to see. I don't care, I don't care. The moment's come now, so take it. To fight for what I believe, 'cause I can, yeah I can.
Last time on Road to Arlathan, the party continued their way through the Elvhen temple and discovered a room full of ancient mosaics, two of which depicted images of the party themselves. After taking some time to further examine these strange pictures, it was discovered that a tile in each of them contained a magic glowing crystal. These crystals were pried from the wall, not knowing what their true purpose might be. The party continued forward, finding themselves trapped in a wind tunnel of sorts. Ashara managed to get away from the gale, discovering a hidden room with a dark secret. In the room was a stone statue sitting on a throne and holding a golden scepter. Brilliantly, the archer took it, only to find herself turning to stone as the statue in front of her shook off the dust as it came to life, revealing her own face. The rest of the party made their way inside shortly after, wary of this new version of Ashara. Coming to the realization that this was not their friend, the new Ashara was restrained while Bronwyn attempted to break the scepter that the statue of the true Ashara held. However, she only ended up breaking an arm off the statue. Diani used her magic to restore the true Ashara, now also missing a hand and deeply traumatized. But this did not stop her double. The party fought the creature, sparing no mercy as it was killed. With more magic, Ashara's arm was restored, and the party continued back into the wind tunnel, finally escaping the confines of the ancient temple. They now found themselves at its top, discovering an altar among the ruins bearing several ram motifs. Asira took it upon herself to make a sacrifice to whichever god the temple belonged to, slicing her hand open over the altar, and they soon met its patron, Elgar'nan. It was a wild session last time, y'all. So, we left off, you guys were kind of just asking Elgar'nan a bunch of questions about what's going on, and Lila left off with, who do you think killed Mythal?
Yeah.
So, he takes a moment to kind of contemplate your question. And he looks over all of you. I don't believe any one person is at fault. I believe it was the group of them who plotted against her.
So if you believe that, why would you join forces with them?
Well, I don't feel as if I have any other choice. Solas imprisoned me, and Gillinan sent forth all of you to free me. I at least owe her for that much.
And you don't want to like have the conversation with them to ask them what happened?
I don't believe Gillinan would permit it.
Out of character here, does anyone remember what we were? I've lost the track of like our goal here entirely.
We are trying to figure out what the next steps are. We're basically sent here to stop the gods, but we don't really have any information on how to do that. So I guess Bronwyn finally just interrupts and says, so next steps, advice, anything we should do.
He turns and looks at you. Remind me, who has the crystals again?
The orbs.
No, the crystals.
I
You don't have orbs.
know that
We have one orb.
Ashara has her crystal, Diani has her crystal.
And mine and Lila's.
I think everyone else has theirs.
Okay. I meant to look at that again before we started, but it will. So he looks to you, Bronwyn, and says, well, I assume your goal is to destroy the Omnurus, based on what I've gathered of your wariness.
My goal is to stop as many innocent lives from being taken as possible. We've not really gotten a clear side of what angle of the war that is.
Well, that certainly sounds like both Gillinan and Fen'Harel. They enjoy toying with each other. I'm sorry, do you hear that?
What are we?
Do we hear it?
You don't hear anything.
No.
You don't hear that singing.
Describe the singing.
It sounds far away, but almost close at the same time. It's beautiful, but you really don't hear it.
I hear nothing beyond the standard.
And then he just kind of starts wandering around, kind of like searching for the sound. And he gets close to Diani. And he's just kind of like looking at her, looking around her. He's coming from you. I don't know if he's here.
I think he might have stepped away really quickly.
Okay. Then
Diani has the orbs, right?
the crystals.
Okay.
Yeah, yours at least. And Bronwyn's and her own.
Yanni has the most crystals.
Yeah.
Do any of the mages hear anything?
No. So he kind of looks around and he straight up just picks up Diani's pouch off her belt. And he's like shaking it while it's still attached to her.
I'm gonna stop him.
He's gonna slap his hand away.
Yeah.
And he slaps your hand right back.
I don't know what customs ancient elves have, but you can't just go grab someone's belongings and start shaking them.
You really don't hear that.
Have you perchance consumed any pop rocks lately?
I am not my brother, thank you very much. Or my son. I'm not my son.
Does anyone else have a crystal with them? Is it just Diani that has them?
Everyone other than the two of us have one.
Mhm.
So
But you
can
only
someone
hear
else
it.
show him theirs to see if that's what it is?
I can.
He goes over to Delia and he's like, "Where'd you get that?"
Oh, just from like the wall over there.
Huh. Well, the sound's not coming from that.
All right, she pockets it again.
It's very pretty though.
Clay's gonna open the pouch, I guess.
Um, he kind of peers inside, and he
What's
sees
in the bag?
the three crystals are sitting directly on top because they are the last things that she put in her bag. So he sees the blue one, the green one, and the copperish orange one. He immediately reaches for the orange one, grabs it, lets out a scream, and drops it immediately. And he's just clutching his hand to his chest. Fuck, that hurt. What?
Whose color was that?
Pretty sure that was
Yours.
mine.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
What the hell are those things?
Can I try and pick it up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna
So-
pick it up.
Seb, Elgernon went digging through your pouch on your belt.
And took one of the orb crystal things out.
They're not orbs.
Look, we've been traumatized by orbs in this campaign.
I
We
know.
get stuck on that.
Everything's an orb.
So you pick up the crystal he dropped?
Yeah.
It almost feels tingly to the touch. Like your fingers are kind of tingling as you hold it. And
I don't like it.
reminds you of anytime healing magic has been used on you, like that sensation.
He doesn't know what it is, but it hurts him. I think she just asked him she'd hold it out with like her palm open so we can see that she's holding it with no problem. Do you have any idea why this hurts you but doesn't me?
No? I've never seen these before.
Didn't we get them from this temple? Yeah, we got them here from your place.
He did say he hadn't seen the mural, or that the
That's
mural
true.
wasn't part of it.
So someone came in and made a mural in your temple and put these crystals on it, I guess.
Apparently.
So, and I'm remembering correctly that Lila was the one standing over his body in the mural.
I don't know if you were all standing over bodies.
But that was like her.
She did have the ram was associated with her in the mural where you were all holding the animals.
Kelly, I have a
Did
question.
did anyone use detect magic earlier on these?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I kind of assumed.
Yes. What is your question?
In the mural that had all the gods in like the last mural where we were
Mhm.
was Solas with them.
Let me look at my notes. Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Could someone who knows more about magic and magical items look at these? Because I know nothing.
I think that when I tried, all I got was they were magic. I didn't get any kind of like
Would you like to make an
specifics.
Arcana check?
Sure, I can do that. Oh, I rolled a 5, so 9.
They're magic. You can sense that each one radiates with a different kind of magic, so they're not all the same, but that's all you are able to tell from them.
I think that's all that I got when I did detect magic as well. I don't know if Sarah wants to try.
Yeah, I'll try.
Go for it.
23.
Damn. So looking at the crystals, I don't know, are you just looking at your own, or are you looking at
I guess I would look at my own.
so looking at your own, you feel it almost vibrating and tingling in your hand, and you get a sense that there is a spell trapped in this crystal. And it's just waiting to be discharged. And if you get closer to anyone else holding them, you feel it begin to almost heat up in your hand. Like it's being drawn towards the other ones.
Interesting. Okay. I guess I should relay that to the party. So it looks like maybe there's magic, like a spell trapped in these.
So you gotta put our hands in the middle together with your crystals. Power friendship.
Maybe we don't do that yet, just in case something explodes.
I feel like maybe we shouldn't do that in the temple. That might trap us.
Yeah.
I would also advise against doing that. I don't want my temple destroyed. My wife is buried here. Well, if there's nothing more I'm able to help you with.
So
You could touch it again.
No.
Well, that's the best insight we can get into what it does.
And he like kind of like shows you his hand, and there's a burn mark on his hand. Like the skin has been kind of slightly melted, like it's a bad burn.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead, Ellie.
Oh, this is Ellie asking a question, not necessarily Chara. So did he answer Bronwyn when she asked what the next step was? Are we supposed to know? Okay.
I think we got distracted. Well, Suppose you're looking for the heart of Arlathan. Continue further north, and I'm sure Gillinan would love to converse with you all.
Is that like an innuendo for kill, or do you actually mean she would want to talk to us?
I would assume she'd actually want to talk to you. She wouldn't want to kill her champions unless you tried to kill her. I suppose it's really up to you.
And if it does turn out that your children are trying to kill innocent people, will you be taking their side?
Suppose it depends on what I've got left to lose.
Well, you've got 2 more sleeping children down there.
I know. They're safer there. He looks around to all of you, and his gaze pauses on Lila for a moment, and he glances down at the crystal in her hands, and then back to his own burned hand. I wish you all luck. I hope the next time we meet it is not under dire circumstances. And
Best directions.
he said go north.
Okay. Sorry.
Could we get that on a map or some coordinates or
And he disappears before your eyes. Just poof, gone.
Typical.
Well, I suppose we go back up and go north. Unless how damaged are we? Is everyone okay? Or
I mean, other than Shara.
Yeah, I was.
yeah. Like, do we need to take a long or a short rest before we go? Or
I'm surprisingly not as terrible as I could be.
okay.
All right. So you all kind of take, so it's like a Mayan style step pyramid that you guys are at the top of. And you guys make your way down many, many stairs back to the ground level. And you begin traveling north. There aren't a ton of buildings that you come across in the dense forest, but there's some rubble, remnants of towers. You can see there are some places where the shoeless elves need to be careful where they walk because there's shattered glass all over. And as you continue northward, you come across a camp. Seems very familiar. There are elven banners up all over, with the different symbols of the clans. And waiting kind of at the edge, you see Solas standing there, waiting and watching as you all approach.
And we just see him at the other camp. And he sent us off. on our own to go exploring, and he knew that we could just okay.
Well, you guys fell through the earth. The ground collapsed beneath you.
Also, it's a temple, and we never know how long we're in temples.
True.
Magic. So as you all approach, Solas takes a step forward and says, "Must say, I was expecting you a little sooner than this. I thought you'd beat us, actually."
Dare I ask how long it's been this time?
Only a couple of days.
Not as bad as I thought.
Still longer than the few hours we thought it was.
There have been some developments since we last spoke. So please come join me in my tent. He leads you into the camp. It's a lot smaller than the initial one because it's not like all the kids and the people who don't know how to fight. It's basically just the Elven warriors. There is a small Inquisition parts to this camp as well. It's just like maybe 5 tents. And as he leads you through, a lot of the people that are kind of milling about stop what they're doing and just kind of stare at you as you all go by. And when you reach his tent, he pulls aside the opening and lets you all kind of file in before he follows after you. Elvhen has reached out to me. She wishes to parley in the morning. I'm not quite sure what to expect of it. Did you happen to find anything in your travels that might help us?
I lean over to Diani and I just like give him the crystal.
She actually will. She'll reach out and reach into her pack and pull out both her crystal and Bronwyn's crystal, because I think she still has it, and offer it to him and say, "We found some murals with some interesting imagery, and these were in them. I don't know if you recognize anything about them, but they seemed important."
He looks down at the crystals in your hand, and you see a hint of recognition in his eyes. I'm going to have Lila, Ashara, and Asira all roll history checks for me.
Nat 20.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry, 19.
Okay. So, Asira, I think you were the last of the three of them to join the Inquisition, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it makes sense that you wouldn't necessarily recognize it because you didn't spend as much time in Skyhold. But Lila and Ashara, thinking back on it, you recognize the art style of the mosaic that was in the temple. And it's very, very reminiscent of the paintings that Solas did in his tower.
Ashara just sort of narrows her eyes at him, like she's really kind of giving him the eye.
And he
At
notices
this
and he's like,
Solas, have you been in a temple recently, adding some murals?
you found Elganon's temple.
We found out.
Oh. How is he?
Confused, I think.
Oh. Can't say that I blame him. Honestly, it's been so long I nearly forgot about the mosaics there. It's been quite some time since I visited. Long before any of this. But I did put it there. I had a vision while wandering the Fade in my dreams and saw all of you stopping the Evenuris. I didn't think that it would ever happen. I thought it was just my imagination running away with me. But
Didn't think this was important information to share before.
I didn't remember. It's been ages since I created them.
What did the orcs do? We know they're magic.
You kind of cut out. I missed the first part.
What did the orcs do?
They're weapons that can be used to either destroy or lock away the Evenuris. It's how I did it the first time. I used the crystals and their power. As I say crystals, fuck off. And fuck, I lost my train of thought.
The orbs will do that.
I use these crystals to lock away the Evenuris, each one corresponding to one of them, and one for myself as well. They worked, and I feared in case we may ever be in need of them again, especially after that vision of all of you, I locked them away where they wouldn't fall into the wrong hands. And as fate would have it, you all found them. This is good. This is good news. We can use this to our advantage. These
Can I roll insight?
Mm-hmm. What are you trying to find out?
It doesn't matter. I rolled a nat one.
Can I roll insight?
I just wanted to know if he included a crystal for himself because he needed to, or if he felt that he might also someday need to be locked away.
You also roll badly.
I might have rolled for something for myself, and so the dice have decided that Lila walks out at this point.
It's just nope.
Can I roll insight just to see how much of this is bullshit that he's spouting?
Yeah.
I rolled a because of my
You rolled a
reliable
2.
talent, I rolled a 17 insight. I did roll a 2, but I have reliable talent.
I rolled a 2 and my insight. Well, okay, so I had a 10.
I
Okay.
have 17.
As far as Ashara can tell, it doesn't sound like bullshit, but it's Solas, so she's like, could go either way. And then Clay, you got a 17 also for insight on him.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about his demeanor that just seems kind of sad. Like, he's telling the truth, but he's very sad about it.
Okay, I'll take that, I guess.
These crystals. I just keep thinking about orbs. These crystals, they each have a power similar to the gods that they're associated with. And he holds his hand out to Diani.
We will pass. She'll hold her hand out so he can take them because I don't know which one he wants and I feel bad.
He takes the blue one and kind of holds it up to the light, turns to Bronwyn, and holds it out to her.
Was that one mine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll take it.
Inside this crystal is a power that Valentin himself is able to wield. It gives you the ability to cast the spell Blight.
I'm sorry.
With this, you can cast a spell, and hopefully it will aid you in whatever battle is to come.
This is different than the blight.
It's different from the Blight.
Okay.
I just happened to pick a necromancy spell that is called Blight. And when these crystals are combined, he kind of turns back to the rest of you again. They form an even greater weapon.
This is my orb.
It's not an orb.
He's an orb.
This weapon will give you the ability to lock away the Evinors once more. Or if you so choose, to destroy them once and for all.
Couple of questions here. When the Eviners were first locked away, did it not create the Fade and like fuck everything up?
Depends on your definition of fucking everything up.
I'll take that as a yes. If we do this again, does it not potentially fuck more things up?
I don't believe it will.
I mean, it's more if it has to happen, I would rather it not. But if it has to happen, it's just preparedness, I suppose. I don't want another Temple of Sacred Ashes.
I understand. If they are locked away once more, I believe it will ensure that the world remains in its current state. and that the veil will heal itself, and there will be no more threat to Thetis.
Insight check.
Sure.
28.
He fully believes what he's saying.
Would you be able to tell us what the other crystals do?
Of course. He gestures to the green one you're holding. This allows you to cast the Gaius spell. And he kind of goes through all of it. I'll send you guys the info on it. Basically, you guys get 3 charges on each of your crystals to cast these spells. They're all 5th level spells. And if you don't have a spellcasting modifier, you just use whichever one is highest. So rogues will use your dex score, warriors will use your strength score. Ashara is conjure animals. Delia is dissonant whispers. Bronwyn is blight. Lila is blinding smite. Play is conjure volley. Asira is moonbeam. Nick is mass cure wounds, and Diani is Gaius.
I'm sorry, I just need to comment on this out of character because my favorite character moment of Diani's forever has been the command spell that I used. And you gave me a beefier command spell. Thank you.
I tried to pick
I'm
one
so
that I thought
glad.
fits the gods.
I'm so glad I rolled low so that Lila left, so that Lila didn't have to pretend to not be excited about a very cool spell.
So yeah, keep track of your charges. You each get 3, and if your spell isn't a 5th level spell, cast it as 5th level. So, yeah.
So you said Gillenon wants to meet tomorrow.
Yes.
How many of the Evanures are we dealing with at this point? As far as we know, Falandine is missing, and I don't think he intended to side with Gillenon anyways. Andrul is dead, I think. June didn't seem interested in getting involved.
Elkenarn didn't seem to know what was going on or why it was happening. At least to me.
Yeah, he seemed to give the impression that he would wait to see which side seemed the best to go with. So he's an outlier. So who are we left dealing with?
Dirthaman. So Dirthaman. What's her name?
Silas?
Yes, Silas. And Gillenan. I think that's everyone.
And we still don't know where Falandine is.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashara will just sort of look at Solas like, and you haven't found any signs of Falandine at all. You know, we did come here partially to try and find him as well.
I know, and I have sensed him. His magic, at least. Wherever they're keeping him, he is trying to free himself.
Yanni's just gonna reach over and squeeze Bronwyn's shoulder.
I know this is a lot to ask of you. And he looks directly at you, Diani, as he's speaking, but he's still like addressing the group. Whatever action you decide, whether it is joining in the fight or fleeing, locking them away or destroying them, I don't believe that I am going to make it out of this alive. And I ask that you do one thing for me. I know I have no right to ask you of anything after everything you've done. Please do not tell Alana.
Yanni glances towards Ashara. Because even if she makes that promise, it's kind of up to Ashara.
Ashara will glance back at Diani and then she'll look at Solas, and she's got that like big sister all shovel talk kind of expression on her face, and she's just gonna be like, did you at least settle things between you before you came here?
I hope so.
Did you give her closure this time?
Again, I hope so. I will not be leaving voluntarily, but if it comes to it that you need to use this weapon, I am still a part of the Evanuris. I will go with them.
Do they have to like all, or can we just trap some of them?
I'm afraid it doesn't work like that.
Why?
Magic is a fickle thing.
That seems like a
That seems like a good answer.
yeah. As Ashara said.
In order to create this weapon, I had to put a part of myself into it.
Oh, I'm not talking about you.
I realize this. I know that Valendean is special to you. And at the time, he was on their side. And I cannot undo what's already been done. If you choose to use this weapon, we all go. And this time, I don't believe there will be a way to bring any of us back.
A last resort then.
It may be the only one.
We've come this far.
We'll see. And as for your request, that'll be determined by how things go.
I suppose that's fair. Just know that if she does know, well, you know how she is.
The not knowing broke her once, Solas. I wouldn't not give her closure a second time. So either you said your goodbyes and you let her know that you weren't coming back, or you're leaving her to wonder again. And if it's the latter, no, I won't make that promise. I will give her closure. She deserves that.
You must understand the last thing I want to do is hurt her. Especially any more than I already have.
Bitch! I'm not here, but bitch!
Just picturing Lila lurking outside listening.
Ashara reaches out and grabs him by the ear, like mother yanking on a misbehaving child, and just says, intentions don't mean shit, Solas.
This is bigger than any one of us, Delenn.
She shakes his ear a little bit. She's just like, this is, yes, this whole thing is bigger than us. I get that. But you don't get to ask Diani or I to make promises to you in regards to Ilana when you're the one that fucked that up. She gets closure one way or the other. And she lets him go and pushes him back.
He kind of stumbles a bit and rubs his ear. I understand. And I will do what I can. Well, I suggest you all get a good night's rest. I know tomorrow will not be easy. I have no idea what it is that Gilanon intends with this meeting, but I don't believe it'll be anything good. So, enjoy tonight. So, maybe the last time that you have together. He kind of looks around at all of you and then goes over towards where there's just a bedroll on the ground. And he sits and kind of turns his back to you all.
Are you giving us any specific direction or just like, ooh, have fun?
He sighs. I will be traveling with you in the morning.
Oh, all right. Great. Okay.
All right. So I assume you all.
Tiani's gonna wait a second, like fold back when everyone leaves, but I will wait until.
Okay. So
Yeah.
everyone else leaves the tent?
Ashara is leaving.
Cool.
I'll kind of like hang back and look at Diani to like kind of see if she needs backup in any way. And then, if she signals no, then I'll give her space.
Sorry, I wouldn't unmute. She just kind of gives Bronwyn like the very smallest shake of her head.
You give her a kiss on the cheek. I also leave.
Asira leaves.
All right. Diani.
She's just gonna kind of like not walk up to him, but just kind of hover by the doorway of the tent and look at him. I'm here because I believed in you, and I gave up on my.
You are like getting garbled and
This microphone is dying. She says, I'm here because I believed in you, and I gave up a lot for that. Please don't give.
You're garbled again.
God damn it!
I heard, please don't give up on.
Please don't give up on us.
And it cut out again.
Hold on.
Now you are muted. I think. It says you're not, but cannot hear you.
You might have to change your audio input in the lower left. Oh,
Ooh.
give
We
me
will wait.
You are
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. She literally just said, I'm here because I believed in you and I gave up a lot for that belief. Please don't give up on us yet. And then she leaves.
Okay. So y'all find Lila. What are you doing, Lila? After you leave, what do you do?
I was going to find Colin because I
Okay.
feel bad that we were only supposed to be gone
So
for
you
like a
don't
few
find
hours.
Lila.
Apparently, it was days.
So yeah, I'm assuming you wander over to where the Inquisition tents are. You do see Colin talking with the Inquisitor. They're going over a map in one of the tents. The tents flaps are open. So I would like to go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll go in and kind of like hang out at the entrance, trying not to interrupt.
Neither of them notice you at first. But when Cullen like moves around to look at the map better, he like notices someone standing there out of the corner of his eye, and then he looks up, and it's just all of a sudden doesn't matter. He's like at your side immediately.
Oh, Colin, I missed him. Yeah, she's gonna hug him and be immediately like, "I'm sorry. It's only been a few hours for me."
I was worried that was the case. You all right?
Yes, it's all been frustrating and confusing, and
Well, that's
there's
just
more frustrating and confusing happening right now, but I decided I was done with dealing with that for the day.
well, we were just going over a map of the area, trying to figure out our best vantage. But I suppose he kind of like glances back at the Inquisitor, and she's just like, "Go on." And goes back to looking at the map. Cullen takes your hand and leads you away from the tent.
I forgot how I can't handle this.
So you two just kind of, he just leads you kind of around the camp, just walking with you. Everyone says that the battle will be tomorrow.
Who knows what that even looks like?
Well, I don't trust this Harley Solas was talking about.
I don't expect that to last very long, no.
These other gods, I don't believe we can trust them. I know that they're powerful beings, and the elves really looked up to them for a time, but they only have their best interests in mind, it seems.
They're worse than our Legion nobles about turning on each other.
I mean, aren't they technically turning on each other? Perhaps that's where the Legions learned it.
There always has to be someone.
Well, what worries me most tomorrow is the thought of you on the front lines.
Don't even know if it'll. At least with Corypheus, there's some idea of what it would look like. I don't understand what this battle is going to entail. It seems as if some of the people we're meant to fight don't appear to be interested in a fight.
I don't believe that will stop them. You'd fight for your family, wouldn't you?
Yes, but my family hasn't murdered each other. I can't fathom it. We spoke to, oh God, I'm so terrible with their names. We spoke to, Jesus Christ, Lila would have it, and I'm spacing. Was the one we just, because I'm thinking Gillenon, and that's not right.
Oh, Elgernon?
Elgernon, thank you, because it's the same ending. We spoke to Elgernon, and he even knows, or at least suspects, that his family murdered his wife. And he still is potentially going to fight with them? I don't understand.
I don't know if we're meant to. His reasons are his own.
It feels like it's been the way since the beginning of all of this. We don't understand what is happening. Just keep taking the next step, trying to do what we can.
Sometimes that's all you can do. You've been doing a good job of it so far.
Thank you. I very much relying on my companions. I cannot make heads or tails of all of this. Between the magic and the ancient elven history that's been almost entirely lost to time, and all of the lies wrapped inside just unintelligible intentions.
Perhaps we'll find answers with the parley tomorrow.
One way or another, hopefully. Where will you be in all this?
With my soldiers. With the Inquisition. We suspect they're quite an army.
Sorry, I didn't hear the last thing.
I suspect they have quite an army.
Yes. An army of who?
There are elves on their side. And whatever creatures they're able to summon.
I wonder if they're still ancient elves, like the Inquisitor saw in the temple.
Perhaps. We'll know more tomorrow.
You know how much I hate going in blind.
Oh, I hate it just as much. Especially when so many good people are involved.
I'm worried about them. I don't want to go so far as to say I question their allegiances, but I I don't see any outcome that they'll like. I suppose we don't get much choice in how it ends when it comes down to it.
No. We never do.
No. It's always those like Alana.
Well, let's not think about it. Not for at least a few more hours.
It'll be quite difficult to get it off my mind, but what did you have in mind?
Well, and he starts getting nervous. Like he's doing the, like rubbing his head thing.
She definitely didn't mean it that way, but then she sees his awkwardness and she like blushes because she's like, oh, I didn't mean that, but
okay. Well, why don't we get you something to eat? I'm sure you're famished after your time in the temple.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Right. He leads you towards kind of where everyone's gathering for food. Okay. So you guys leave Solas's tent. Where are you kind of heading off to?
Clay is gonna go.
Go ahead.
Clay is going to find a Inquisition scout that he can give a letter to send to Will, and I'm writing that now.
Cool. Anyone else? What are y'all up to?
I'm hanging out waiting for Diani to leave the tent outside.
And when Diani comes out of the tent?
I guess we gotta go get some food or something. Set up tents. Are there tents for us, or do we have to set them up?
They have tents for you.
Yeah.
They knew you were coming.
Yanni would like to go see if any of her family is here, or if they.
You cut out again at the end.
Motherfucker. She'd like to see if it's here, if they all stayed by.
So I heard
She
what I
wants to
did
see if
hear
her
last
family
time.
wants to hear if her family is here, if they stayed behind.
Yeah, that's what I heard in the two different parts. So looking around, I don't even remember what he looks like at this point. It's been so long. You see your old pal, your buddy, sitting by the fire with some of the other elven warriors. Will you describe him for me? Because I don't remember what he looks like.
I think I just sent you a picture of Boo Boo Stewart when I was describing him.
Oh, yeah.
Tall, kind of like broad-shouldered, long dark hair. Otherwise kind of lanky. Dark hair, dark skin, dark eyed. Elven man with at the time he had red Vaseline of
It is gone.
I don't even remember who it was, so that's good.
There, but it is not there anymore.
Are they like approaching? Like, is he facing them?
It's kind of like side profile.
I think it takes her a second to realize who she's looking at. And then she, not quite a run, but like a very quick step towards him, with like a little squeak.
He hears you coming, and when he turns and kind of looks in your direction, his eyes go wide. And he's immediately on his feet going towards you.
She just throws herself at him, like full tears, just throws herself at him, wraps her arms around the middle, and just like collides with his chest. Sorry, Brown. not even like a left Bronwyn behind, like a forgot that the rest of the camp existed, dropped her staff, threw herself at him.
Yeah, she's just kind of like standing there, like kicking the dirt, just like, all right, I'm not gonna look.
Trying to picture what his voice would be. What are you doing here?
I found you.
I kind of understood what you said.
I'm gonna scream.
No.
I don't know what's going on with my mic.
I think it's having trouble picking up lower levels. Which
I'm gonna turn my fan off and see if that helps.
I know it's like Yanni's voice is quieter, but you might need to project more for it to pick it up.
She just said, "I found you."
You've been looking for me? I didn't even know you were alive. And he's like looking at you, like he kind of like pulls you back slightly, like he's still holding on to you, but just so he can look at you.
I saw you in a dream.
So weird fade shit.
Weird fade shit.
And he like reaches up and kind of like almost touches your burn, but doesn't.
It's really hard to explain. I went to the fade.
Oh, cool. How was that?
She's like, she stops for a second. She's like, no, that's not the first thing. I'm working for Fen'Harel.
Wow. So am I.
Like directly with
like you know him on like a first name basis, or
like he has been guiding me for a while. I betrayed Gillenline. And then I think she realizes that she abandoned Bronwyn, and she kind of like turns very red and then says, "There's a lot of people I need to introduce you to, but there's a lot of catching up to do too."
well, I'm down for whatever. I'm just glad to see you.
You want to get dinner?
Yeah, I could eat.
And she will like take a step back and very firmly take his hand, like there's no shyness there. And she will pull him over to Bronwyn. And Bronwyn, this is Aiden there, this is Bronwyn. I don't know where Clay is.
Back.
He reaches out to shake your hand, Bronwyn. That's nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too.
So you're Grey Warden. That's cool.
I guess.
And that's a pretty sick arm you've got.
Yeah. Clay made it.
She's just beaming at them like this is the best day of her life.
So, how do you know Deanne?
Well, we both got picked by the
She's my
Evaneric.
girlfriend.
Oh.
She's your Oh. You should have started with that.
There's been a lot to catch up on.
Well,
Ramen is very
your
red.
first girlfriend is important.
Just wait till you meet Clay.
Who's Clay?
When do I come into this, by the way?
When do you want to come into this?
Just Clay. I
Walk up and I
play.
see like Deani and this random guy holding hands and just like back and forth between Bronwyn and this guy and just like hi. Sorry, I went to go and see if I could send a letter. He's just going to like come up and put his arm around Bronwyn's shoulder.
Oh, so you're Clay. Nice to meet you. Aiden Thayer.
Shakes hands. Hi.
Can we get
Kind of
food?
looks between him and Deani.
And then I can explain everything all at once.
Okay.
I could eat.
I could eat.
She, assuming that they kind of know where to go to get food, she will.
You cut out again.
I get it. I don't want to have.
Now you're really cutting out. Could you borrow Joey's? Would that work?
She's actively using hers. I just don't want to have to explain the 2 years of campaign in character.
That's
so she's gonna lead them over to E and explain everything about what they've been doing for the last 2 years.
And he barely touches his food as he's listening to, because he's just like so like, and as it goes on and on, he's like, what the fuck? You did all that and got relationships out of it?
And she just like she's smiling so much. She's just so happy. She is sitting next to him. Rather than between Clay and Bronwyn, as she usually would be. It's been a very busy year.
No shit. I thought I was busy running around for Fen'Harel, but holy shit. You've been through a lot. And then he looks over at Clay and Bronwyn. Thanks for taking care of her.
I think she took care of us more.
That's just what she wants you to think.
I think it takes her a second, like it takes her a while to realize that him being here means that he is part of the fight. And that he will be there tomorrow, and then like her face falls. If you're here, are you gonna be fighting tomorrow? If it turns to that?
I mean, yeah, that's why we're here. That's why we're all here. Someone's got to stop them. Someone's got to protect the rest of the clans. Someone's got to represent ours. We're all that's left.
Just be careful.
I mean, I'll try. No promises. Except unlike you, I don't have a boyfriend and girlfriend to look after me. You'll be right up in there, won't you?
Yeah. I think that we'll be right up in front.
Yeah.
So we made it this far.
Yeah, there's that. I think we've got a good chance. I think a lot of it's just, uppity god shit. They don't actually have what it takes to beat us,
We did take out Angelo.
Yeah, which means you're gonna fuck up the rest of the gods just fine.
Just don't die.
I'll do my best.
Took a very long time to find you.
I know. I'll do my best. You know I will. Gotten a lot better since you last saw me.
Prove it.
All right. Clay, you want to go?
Absolutely.
No.
So he gets up and like shakes out his fist. This guy is tall. He's like 6'3".
He's like an entire foot taller.
All right. You want to swing first?
Wait. What's happening? Bronwyn is getting up. What? Did I miss a boy thing?
Do you want to fight too?
You're not touching him. You're not
We're
touching
just-
him.
Clay just
That's
reaches out
awesome.
and taps him on the shoulder.
No, stop it. She swats at his hand.
And then he reaches out and like puts his hand on your head. Just kind of like ruffles your hair. You want to go then?
I just look at Diani. What?
She's just laughing. Like she shrugs, and it's a lot happier than what this night could have been. Might as well let them fight it out.
I would like to climb that man like a tree and try and grapple him.
Roll athletics.
That's a 19. I have shit athletics, but I did roll an 18.
Sure. Yeah, you climb that man like a tree.
I climb that man like a tree. I just want to like get him in a playful head knock and give him a little noogie on top of his head.
And he kind of like, it's like, you want to go? He's like swatting your hand away.
I think I've already gotten, man. I'm up. I got you up here.
I mean, I can do a mean body slam, man.
I have him in a playful headlock, but it's in a headlock, and he's kind of like, so like scrambling. He's basically like piggybacking him, right?
Yeah. All he's gonna do
I'm
is fall
going-
backwards on you.
Clay's going to keep his hold, kind of like I'm doing this to try and protect his throat as much as possible, so I don't want to hurt him at all, but he is just going to kind of like bunch his energy up near his knees, so like on his hips, and so he is just going to basically push his body out and fall backwards and catch him so that his head is resting on his shoulder, but he's basically folded. I don't know how to describe it very well, but it's the reason I'm being very careful about it is it's a way that you can break someone's neck. So like I want to be gentle, but I'm just going to he's just going to plant himself and like hold him back and be like, okay, body slam me.
He is going to like kind of twist his body. Roll strength against me.
Okay. Strength save or just, well, it doesn't matter either way.
What'd you get?
10.
I got a 16.
Yeah, okay.
So he kind of like twists his body, rolls, and flings you off of him, and he pins you down.
Okay. He just kind of like takes it. He just kind of like rolls into the throw as much as possible and just kind of and then he just kind of looks up at him giggling.
To be fair, Clay is not the one if you to wrestle with if you want to prove how strong you are.
This is true. And he looks down at you as he's pinning you down, and he's like, "Not bad, kid."
Is he gonna stand up or is he still pinning me?
He's still pinning.
Okay. He just how is he pinning me?
He's probably like straddling his hips and like pinning with his elbows and arms. Like on your collarbone.
Clay is going to loop his leg over the back of his knee, and he's going to twist his arm around to really quickly try and grab his arm by the shoulder. He's doing the TikTok move, and he's just going to slide his body out from under one side, and in doing that, pull his arm down at the shoulder and push up and just flip him so he's on top.
Roll athletics.
I'm getting some fucking fantastic rolls for this foreplay. 20.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die in battle tomorrow, but god damn it if I didn't play fight right now. So yeah, he's just going to flip them over so that he's on his back, and then he's going to stand up and just reach his hand out to help him up and say, "Not bad yourself, kid."
And he kind of like glances at Diani and then looks up at Clay and takes his hand and pulls himself up. And he ruffles your hair again. All right. Y'all want to take a quick break? Over and kind of low. Cool. Would anyone else like to search the camp for people or interact with other party members at the moment?
I feel like Ashara would probably try to go find Ishan, but then despite giving Solas a lecture, she's a fucking coward and would probably just sort of maybe if he's around like a campfire, she'd probably just like climb a nearby tree and watch him for a little bit.
All right. You do find him. He's like in the line to get food. Are you going to climb a tree?
Yeah, she's probably going, like I said, despite giving Solas shit, she's probably gonna clam up a little bit, and if she sees him, maybe not climb a tree if he's in line for food, but like she'll just sort of find a spot that's a little bit away from the crowd and just sort of watch.
Mm-hmm. And you see him as he's in line. He's kind of joking around with the people next to him. Like he's gotten to know a lot of people in the camp. And he's just kind of making his way through the line, filling up his plate. And then once he's out of the line, he goes and takes a seat at an empty table.
Trying to decide if she'd be a coward or not. That didn't work. She'll hesitate for a minute, but she'll eventually go over and sit next to him.
And he doesn't like notice at first. Like he knows there's someone sitting next to him, but he's just assuming it's some random person. And when he does look up, he's like got a huge mouthful of food. His eyes go wide and he forcefully swallows his food and wraps his arms around you.
She'll hug him back. Just like, I see you're making friends.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird. Like, there's no one here from our clan that I really know. Well, it's been a while, but all these other clans, they got some cool people.
It's good. I'm glad that you're making friends.
When did you get back?
Not that long ago.
Okay. Did you find anything that'll help? Any news on Falandine?
No news on Falandine, other than that he is alive, but probably trapped somewhere. The same usual bullshit. Maybe we found something that will help. I hope we found something that'll help.
What'd you find?
A lot of weird shit.
Well, that's nothing new.
And I think Ashara did sketch some of the stuff that they saw when they were down there in like a little journal. So she'll pull that out and show him her sketches and stuff. Lots of strange murals, lots of strange
Is that
histories.
Is that you?
That's the weird part. Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. If Solas is to be believed, he drew that ages ago from a vision. I don't know if I believe him or not. It could go either way, I'm sure.
Well, why would he lie about that? How old did they look?
I mean, they looked old, but Elgarnon didn't know anything about them, so they weren't there from when he built it. So Solas added them later.
I mean, I guess that makes sense if he's recording history.
We met Elgarnon.
Oh, how was that?
She just like heavy sighs, like it's the same bullshit. He didn't try to kill us though, so
that's nice.
That was an improvement.
Yeah.
Not sure which side of the coin he's gonna fall on in the coming days, but
yeah. Are you going with Solas tomorrow?
And she sort of like leans into his shoulder. She's just like, yeah, front and center. Are you?
I mean, I'll be back with the other mages, but it's not quite the front lines, but you know how they like to, where they like to put us.
She just sort of whispers, "Is it horribly selfish of me to want you to stay safe?"
Is it selfish of me to want the same thing for you?
No, but I don't know how much of a
Guess
choice
not.
I have in this.
Yeah. You know, I never thought that I'd end up here.
Back in the real
After-
world.
Well, that and in the middle of a war. Back in the Fade, I didn't have to worry about much of anything. But here, well, the world literally fell apart without me here, so you
This
know.
is true. This is true. I was about to ask if you had any regrets coming back. But we did fall apart without you, so you know, take that from what you will.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's still weird being back.
How did your parents take it, you coming along here?
They didn't think I was real at first, which makes sense. Took a lot of convincing. Solas actually convinced them that I was real. So yeah, they're glad that I'm home. It's been a little weird, but you know, they got into a new routine without me there, and now I just kind of feel like I'm in the way. So, you know,
You're not in the way.
I know. So I've been spending more time out here and getting ready for this and running my little stand and, you know,
You thinking of branching out after all of this? Finding a different clan?
I don't know. Guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens after all this. How the world ends up.
Promise me you'll make it out of this.
Can you promise me the same?
I'll do my best.
Well, then I'll do mine.
And she throws her arms around him and like hugs him tight.
And he holds her very tightly as well. Did you get food? Are you hungry? They got plenty.
She will literally steal the bread off of his plate.
Fair enough. Is everyone back or just you?
No, we're all back. Lila stormed out of the tent halfway through the conversation. I mean,
Well, you know how Shamar.
yeah, she did very well. I thought she would have stormed off a lot sooner. Diani, Bronwyn, and Clay are around somewhere. Asira is probably near Lila. Well, maybe. And like Ashara pauses to think, like doing the mental math, like, well.
And as you're saying this, you see Lila and Cullen walking by holding hands.
And then she just sort of chuckles and she's like, okay, so Asira is probably not near Lila.
Yeah, I kind of saw that one coming.
Yeah, everyone's around somewhere. Getting into trouble, I'm sure.
I mean, I hope not. They've got a big day tomorrow.
She looks at him and she's like, trouble.
Oh.
And she nudges him.
And his face goes bright red.
Like you said, this might be their last night.
I mean, I guess that makes a lot of sense. And now he just looks very awkward.
They are in public, you two. She's not gonna kiss him there.
So, what were your plans for tonight? I mean, I'm sure you need a lot of rest and gotta plan out what you're doing tomorrow. Lots of big things, right?
She just sort of shrugged. She was like, I don't know. I'm not one for sleeping. Too much energy. I know.
Not sleep together.
Use up some of that energy.
We can just cuddle.
I was gonna go practice some of my battle magic if you wanted to come with. Could help you with some of yours now that you're a mage now, and he like nudges you.
She'll playfully nudge him back and she'll be like, yeah.
Okay.
Away from prying eyes, my magic is still kind of.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Don't worry, I won't let you embarrass yourself.
Appreciated.
He kind of like offers his plate to you one more time, but still like heaped up with food.
She just waves the piece of bread, like, no, I'm good.
He takes like a couple more bites and then pushes it away, and then gets up and offers his hand to you.
She'll take it.
And he kind of leads you a little away from camp. Like there's a spot where there's like a clearing with less trees so that he can practice.
And yes, once they are out of sight, she will give him a kiss.
There we go. You guys got what you wanted. Okay. Who wants to go next? Anyone else?
Wait. I'm so sorry. I have to scroll. I have to play a clip they still have on my phone of M.
Let him love you.
There we go. Like 6 months ago.
The two of them are the most awkward babies ever, okay?
Yeah. So we're calling it Lila. They're like fucking and they're still like blushing at each other when they imply sex. Okay, we did have, if anyone has something they want to do before it's not, Hills and I did have an idea of something in the middle of the night.
Oh?
Oh
yeah. Okay. Abby, was there anything you wanted to do? Or anyone you want to talk to?
My cat has my hands hostage, so that's why it took me a minute. Let's see. Barrick's not at this camp, is he?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay. I think Delia's just gonna like bop around and check in on folks and otherwise just prep.
Yeah.
She'll like sit and sharpen her knives at one point and
yeah. Did you want to talk to anyone about anything specific?
With love in my heart, Abby is tired.
Yeah. That's totally cool.
Delia might wish to. Abby does not have the brain space to.
You're good. Anyone else want to do anything with anyone else? All right. So
So, are you doing something before the because I do have the middle of the night thing.
Yes, I know. I was going to just say you all uh get ready for bed and do whatever things you are doing and whoever you are doing. And, um I'm trying to decide if I want to do this or not before we go anywhere else. Because I feel like it might derail your plans. Astira. You're kind of wandering camp, get in line for food, just kind of doing your thing while everyone else is doing their thing and their people. Um, and you sit down, eat your food. Someone comes and sits down directly across from you. And you look up and you see Tal smirking at you.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, it's me. Hi.
Any particular reason why you are gracing me with your presence?
Am I not allowed to say hi? Like, we're all gonna die tomorrow and I can't say hi.
I mean, fine. You guys.
So how you been?
It's been a lot for sure. Meeting, the usual meeting elven gods,
Oh yeah, the usual.
having more answers or having more questions than answers.
Well, I know all about that. That's kind of why I came to see you.
Oh,
Well, in case you didn't notice, and she like kind of like gestures to the Inquisition pin on her shirt. I joined a new cause. Inquisition just pays better, but that's a good cause still. I'm down with it. But do you remember when you came to the camp when I was with that Merc group? And
yeah, but
well, I'm sure you knew this already, but I haven't been completely honest with you.
surprise, surprise there.
Oh yeah. Um, you and I go way back, Asira.
Way back?
Way back. Not really surprised you didn't recognize me, but things change and people change and names change and well, if we're gonna die tonight, I just thought you should know. We're gonna die tomorrow.
The whole time, this whole time, this whole time, it's been you this whole time.
Yeah. I will say you are taking this a lot better than I thought you would.
Oh, I can't. I don't even know what to say.
That's fine. Just figured you
I
should.
can't believe you weren't honest with me.
I mean, to be fair, we don't really know each other anymore. It's been years, Seer.
Yeah, I know.
And, with the people I've been hanging out with, it's hard to trust anybody.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I mean, I'm sure there's not a lot of trust even within a mercenary group.
Definitely not the ones I've been part of. I mean, the first one got me out, but they all died.
So, how did you get out?
Merc group trying to break in, get some Gatlock, found me, took me, killed everyone else.
Ah, I see.
That was after they took you.
Yeah.
How'd you get out?
I was with a group that was investigating the Dread Wolf, and things went south. I'm the only survivor of that group, and I ended up with the Inquisition. And then I got drafted into this little crew.
Yeah. Sounds like neither one of us has had it real easy.
Yeah, definitely not.
But hey, we're alive, at least for the night. That's gotta mean something, right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm definitely not looking forward to tomorrow, that's for sure.
I don't think anyone is. But, I mean, fate of the world's at stake, so. You know how it is.
Good old fate of the world.
Yeah. Well, tell you what. We survived this thing. You come find me, or, well, yeah, because I think out of the two of us, you're probably more likely to die. Just based on proximity. But if we survive this, come find me and we'll catch up.
Right. I'll do that. We definitely have a lot to talk about.
That we do. She gets up and she turns to walk away, but then hesitates before reaching down and just squeezing your hand gently before she does walk away.
Asiris takes her, like, kind of grips her hand and squeezes it back.
Okay. So now would you like to do your middle of the night thing?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a little less fun now.
It can still be fun. What you got?
Yeah. The idea was just that Lila's not in the town with Asira, and then she might steal Colin's coat and go to the tent. And so she can talk to Sierra before the morning.
Yeah, you
but
can.
now they actually have to fucking talk about it. Jesus Christ. Okay.
All right.
So she shows up the tent in like not very much clothing, but the coat on, the coat covering everything.
Mhm.
Why
You
is she
do
just really
pass by
forgetting to
several
wear the
people as
coat?
you're walking to the tent.
You're just like, she's like, you see that? She's like in the middle of the night. She's like, see nothing. See nothing.
Is anyone else up and around, or are you guys all doing your thing?
Yeah, Thruple, what you up to?
It could be a quadruple.
We're doing a thing. I'm
We're
not sure exactly
busy.
what the.
We're busy.
I don't think that we ever figured out what actually happened. So let's just say they're busy.
We're busy. We'll write it later.
Busy. We'll get back
They're
to that
either
later.
talking or they're very busy.
They're either
Mouths are
mentally
busy.
or physically busy. Maybe even spiritually.
Probably even spiritually.
I
Oh my
mean, I'm
God.
good, but I wouldn't say that.
So you get to the tent where Asira's staying. What do? You just walk in?
Yeah, she can like peeks in and is like, hey, Seer, you awake? She knows she has a tendency to not sleep the night before.
Asira's just kind of sitting on her bedroll. Just kind of, she's got the little trinket that she usually carries with her. And she's just kind of turning that over in her hands and kind of just like smoothing out the wood, or like, kind of going over the wood with her hands. And she looks up and she goes, hey Lila.
Your computer echoes, Katie.
Oh no.
It's not on everything. It's just sometimes.
Lyle just comes in and sits next to her, kind of looks at her holding the thing for a little bit. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just I talked to Tal tonight, and apparently
Wait, what? She's here?
yeah, she's in the camp. And apparently she's not who I thought she was. Um I was gonna say, give me just a moment because I've actually forgotten her real name. So let me go to my little character thing and
I got
hold up.
you. It's Murad.
Murad, yeah. So apparently she's been Murad this whole time.
Yeah,
that's
you
not
like
the
asked
face
her
that I
about it
made.
even.
Sorry.
Didn't you even like poke her about it? And she acted like she didn't know what you were talking about?
Yeah, she completely gave me the runaround. She said that she'd seen her, but it had been a while, like over a year. Gave me the runaround.
And she just dropped it on you?
Yeah. Oh, and she's part of the Inquisition now, wouldn't you know it?
What?
I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in, especially with tomorrow.
Yeah. How are you feeling about it?
It's weird. I mean, on one hand, like she said, it's been years since we've seen each other. We hardly know each other at all. And she said if things go well tomorrow and we survive, then we can talk later. But it is difficult to wrap my head around for sure. After all these years of wondering and not knowing. And
I mean, at least it's better that she made it out.
yeah, it's definitely, I'm glad that she did make it out. I was worried. I was definitely worried for her. The Qun is no place for anyone, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. Was she like, oh, was she like flirting with you?
Uh,
I don't know. It just seems like such a interesting choice to drop that on you right now.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess there was a little bit of flirting, if you can call it that, but mostly just saying, hey, it's me. Ta-da. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, it's a lot to take in, and it'll depend. So many decisions to make, and apparently these crystals are more complicated than we thought they were. They can be used to trap the gods again, Lila, but it has to be all of them.
What, like we all have to agree or something?
Yeah, I mean, we all have to agree, and it also is going to entrap all of the gods, Falendine included. And Solas, I believe, since one of the which I know no love lost on that one.
I, yeah, I don't. We certainly owe Falendine. I, especially given that we still don't know where he is. I hate the idea of trapping him unless he. I mean, without even talking to him, who knows if he'd agree it's the best move? But I don't know. This whole thing is so ridiculous. It,
Yeah, it definitely is.
I can't. Everyone keeps talking like it's tomorrow's the big day. I think some part of me just can't wrap my head around it. We keep thinking that. We keep thinking that it's going to be this big thing. And then it's just one more step on this endless rabbit hole. What if tomorrow they just send us on another ridiculously confusing quest?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's been one quest after the other with more questions than answers. So I don't know. But supposedly tomorrow we're supposed to talk to Gillenon, and I doubt that that's going to go well. I don't even feel like talking to the bitch, but and again, not my choice. So
There's kind of a moment where Lila is clearly like just at a loss. And she just leans over and hugs her.
she hugs her back, and then she pulls back and goes, Are you wearing Colin's coat?
Maybe.
I don't blame you going to the commander's tent on the eve of battle.
If I'm honest, I'm more worried about him than me. I know it doesn't make any sense, but
Yeah, well, he's going to be on the front lines with the Inquisition, wherever they're going to be helping. It's a lot, you know. The Inquisition has been through so much, but taking on the gods, you're right to be worried. But then again, it's Cullen, so if anyone can pull through.
I know. I just wish things would get easier for him. I mean, they have. That's not fair. Obviously, things are easier than when I met him, but him and Alana, Liliana too. Just wonder at what point do they get a break?
Yeah. It definitely seems that way. Well, maybe after this is all over, we can all finally find some peace.
Whatever that looks like for each of us.
Yeah.
We should probably try to get some sleep.
Yeah, we should. Definitely. At least a little bit of rest. We're going to have a long day ahead tomorrow.
Yeah. I know it's stupid to say it, but please be careful tomorrow.
I will. You too.
I know, but I'm the one who's supposed to be in the middle of the fight. You're the one raining death from afar.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, I'll do my best to stay safe. You too. Remember, you can't protect everyone.
I'll try to remember that. She gives her another hug and starts to get up.
She hugs her back. I'm assuming you're going back to Cullen's tent.
I think you'd be a little bit worried if I wasn't.
I'm sure. Enjoy the rest of your night and try to get some sleep.
I will. And she just kind of waves and heads off.
All right. So you all settle down for the night and prepare for what the next day has in store for you all. And that's where we'll end today.